Hey everyone, it's Sensei Pink and I'm coming back to you guys for my review on Attack on Titan chapter 122 titled From You 2,000 Years Ago. I'm just going to say that hands down, this is definitely the most important chapter in the AOT series because we learn so much well-needed information about the most important character of the series, which isn't Eren or Mikasa. I know those are some of y'all faves, but the most important character, which is Ymir Fritz. So without further ado, let's jump right into this chapter. In this chapter, we start off with the old scene of Frida telling Historia that she needs to aim to become a kind person, just like Ymir is depicted in the book as she's giving the apple to the devil. Now, obviously, we all know that that depiction of her handing the apple to the devil is supposedly like the trade for her to gain the Titan power. But in this chapter, we learn that that depiction that even Eldians have and that the Marleyans have is completely false. Flashback to 2,000 years ago, we learn that Ymir Fritz was once a slave to her own kind. And yes, I'm talking about the Eldian people. She was a slave until one day the Eldian king threatened all of his slaves that he would gouge out at least one of their eyes unless they decided to snitch on whoever set all of the pigs free. Now, I'm not too sure if she actually did it or not, but as soon as he said that, all the slaves turned and pointed at her, and immediately I guess she just decided to take the blame for the crime. Now, after she was blamed or, accused of this crime, whatever it is, whether she's guilty or not, she was set free, but not without the king trying to kill her, aka punish her. And he did this by setting her free in a forest with archers shooting arrows at her and wild dogs chasing after her, to really kill her. Severely wounded and on the brink of death, she finds this very odd and large tree with an opening that she can hide in. So as she limps inside this tree, she gets in there and just like one more step, she falls right down, further down into the tree and into this body of water. Now, I do not know what kind of mythical tree this is, but as she was sinking in the water at the bottom of the tree, the roots at the very bottom began to attach to her body and made her transform into the first Titan ever. Now, she's the first Titan ever, and after this she goes on to be the slave again of this douchebag king, which I don't know why, and helps Eldia grow large and prosperous, and it helps destroy their enemies, aka the Marleyans. For all this hard work of, building bridges and helping Eldia become such a flourishing place, she's rewarded with becoming the baby mama of the king, or we'll say wife, but she's allowed to now bear the king's kids and I guess become his wife. It only says in the chapter, he does say you're allowed to bear my children, not become wife, but maybe it's the same thing, who knows. Which, on a side note, is not a very good reward because obviously the king is an asshole and we don't like him very much. I don't like him, but anywho, Ymir's better than me. She takes the reward and therefore she has her 3 daughters, Maria, Rose, and Shina. Flash forward a little bit and Ymir is out with her daughters with the king as he's dressing his army. Suddenly, one of the soldiers who is kneeling down grabs like a spear out of the ground and throws it at the king, which honestly, I was hoping it hit him, but obviously Ymir is such a kind-hearted person. She jumps right in front and takes the spear like almost to the neck. After that, this douchebag of a king, as she's laying there dying, he's still commanding her to get up because she's his slave. Ugh, I hate him. After this, Ymir's spirit is brought into the current realm, you know, that little sandy world where all the paths connect, and her body is then chopped up and served to her daughters to eat. Not a good meal. But Ymir's daughters are commanded by their father to eat every bit of their mother and to inherit her power and to pass it on from generation to generation, so that throughout history, Eldia will be the ruling factor and to have as many kids as possible to keep this going. Flash forward to the present, we see Eren holding on to Ymir and telling her that, you know, she's not a slave, and she's not a god, and that she does not have to obey people, aka Zeke, Zeke and everyone else with, you know, the Fritz bloodline, and that she's a human being and that she can decide for herself what she wants to do. Then we have Eren basically telling Ymir that, you know, she can stay in this realm and, you know, be a slave to the Fritz bloodline, or she can help him end the world and this will all be over. Now, for 2,000 years, Ymir has been suffering because of her own people, and for 2,000 years she's kind of been waiting for someone to save her and has guided Eren all of this way to come and, I guess, help her out of this world and to help maybe get rid of the Eldians, I don't really know, but to just end all of this, end her suffering, end everything. As this chapter ends, we're brought to the present where the fight between Marley and everyone in the wall is still going on, and Eren is now beginning to transform into a Titan, and the walls, all of the walls are beginning to crumble down, and everyone's panicking because as they're crumbling down, all of the hundreds of colossal Titans are now beginning to be revealed. Just fucking wow. Like, Isayama, man, like, Jesus Christ. We learned so much, so much from this chapter, and I swear to you guys, I cannot wait until next month. I feel like this chapter was perfect, and it answered so many of my past AOT theory questions. Like, this was just crazy. And going on to next chapter, I don't know what's gonna happen for the Attack on Titan world, man. Like, is everyone else gonna get crushed by Titans? Like, what is Eren gonna do with the colossal Titans? Like, I don't even know. Eren's one badass man. He's a bad dude. The only question now that I still have on my mind is, why do regular Titans eat people? Like, how and why was that programmed into the Titan/Eldian DNA? Like, was it to make them like unbeatable soldiers? Especially since we see that Ymir's daughters obviously ate her and inherited her power and have created like 8 to 9 special Titans with powers. Also, now that I think about it, are the people who were transformed, who are holding up the walls, who are the colossal Titans in them, were they direct descendants of obviously the descendant who had the colossal Titan power first? Hopefully that question does get answered next chapter. And hopefully we get more insight of Maria, Rose, and Shina's descendants in this next chapter or the chapters to come. Overall, I'm gonna give this chapter a solid 5 out of 5 because obviously this chapter was just so epic and answered so many questions. Well, that's it for this chapter. Let me know what kind of theories you guys have for next chapter in the comments, or what comments you have on this current chapter. Just let me know, maybe if you agree about the descendants and everything or what. Alright guys, don't forget to hit those notifications and to like and subscribe to see more of me, Sensei Pink. I'll see you guys next month.